Aha. So this is kind of spooky, but should be good and fun. Welcome to the Trixieverse build server. The sound you're hearing is music of mine that's not going to get me any funky copyright claims because it is mine. And here we are, derping about on the Trixieverse Minecraft server. This is a server that me and the fans of my writing share. I'm probably going to come up with more... Oh, did I hear a monster? I think not. Probably going to come up with more suitable music. I haven't got any good long format music except for this rather unusual little piece of work. You may notice that Minecraft does not look the way that it looks. Just a moment. This is going to be interesting. Doing a rather high intensity encode. We'll see what happens to this. If I'm not mistaken, I am recording at high DPI, so this is compelling the program to cut it back down again. It's just somewhat less than helpful, but whatever. I've also got, although I could have that going on another computer, honestly. I got Chrome going so that I can see if anybody shows up in the chat, but there is nobody showing up in the chat. Nor should there be. And I've got TeamSpeak going in case any of my folks show up in the TeamSpeak, in which case you'll hear them. Honestly, with spooky music like this, I should be heading off in the middle of the night. I suppose I'll keep it around in case it is useful. Just going to wander over this way to this nice little ultra-modern house. Stylish little thing. Looks just like that. Turner! Hi, can you hear me? Minecraft name is Obrux, but we know him as Turner. Can you hear me? Just a moment, let me look at my TeamSpeak window. It's not on the TeamSpeak yet. I'm being very fancy. I'm carrying lots of bones in this particular server, apparently. We'll go inside the modern house. Ta-da! Classy little place. Down to the very modern basement. Rec room. Ah, now you should be able to hear me if all is going well. Yes, it's been very interesting. I was struggling with various different streaming programs, and OBS was a big pain in the butt. And you know how I'm using ScreenFlow by Telestream for the video recording, but I wanted to see if I could do one where I didn't actually have to record a thing. Just stream it, and then YouTube can do the recording of it, and I needn't worry whether it's any particularly high quality. It'll just sort of be what it is. And they've got a thing called Wirecast Play that was just $10, and let me test it out without the even the $10. So I tried that out, and I discovered that not only can I make it do a Minecraft window, but I can also play music over a background program. Right now I am playing a thing that I call Sweden Scream Space, because it's a Paul Stretch sort of soundscape of this funny event, this audio event that happened, where a bunch of people in Sweden, in this one valley, I think on the weekends or something like that, would, I guess, get drunk and scream into the night to listen to themselves sort of echo. And so there was this entire recording of it, and I stretched it out to about an hour, and I put it on loop. So this particular Minecraft derping around episode is going to have a much more ominous and sinister sounding soundtrack than it really deserves. By the way, folks, Turner doesn't actually talk on the TeamSpeak. I am recording the output of the TeamSpeak, but I don't have anybody that is on mic yet. But if it picks up this one background sound, it should pick up all of the applications running, so that should be all fine. I'm sure I can do other things with the soundscapes and things like that. There are doubtless many things that I can do to provide... oh, here. I have not taken people into the Trixieverse server very much lately, so I may as well wander over here and show people the magnificent cathedral that Turner has built. This is pretty much just proof of concept. I've been derping around a little bit, making failed attempts at screaming, whatever. Ah! So this can be the ominous cathedral, dun dun. Honestly, Turner, you're going to enjoy hearing this music eventually. It's going to be on my YouTube channel. Now, the purpose of setting this up like this is that there's no reason that I can't just stream various things to the channel and just go with that. I mean, I've got it open to the chat, but I don't actually expect anybody to come, which is fine. That's not my biggest concern. but it does mean that I can dump content onto this channel a lot easier than I might otherwise do. I'm doing it in 1080p at Wirecast's most intense encoding thing. It's the highest bandwidth, but after all, I am paying for a fancy, server. What am I talking about? I'm paying for a fancy router and a more high-intensity internet connection than one normally gets in the middle of Vermont, where you have to pipe internet in with paper cups. So I'm basically making full use of that, and I'm thinking that I can go on the Versus server and start to make a habit of working on that. And then I'll be just neatly recording all of the stuff that I do without going to the trouble of editing it up and all of that different kinds of stuff. I've been seeing various people doing recordings and Google Hangouts and stuff like that. So this is kind of like that, only not. And I'm certainly going to want to make some more music, because although this is cool, it's very spooky. Spooky music. And of course I have to be cautious not to let anybody's commercial music play, for fear Google will smack me off of the internet. Thwap! But thankfully, me being me, that is not even a concern. I can provide all of the music and audio that I wish. Now, one of the things that's also likely to happen while I'm on this, and we may make it possible for people to not only join us here, but also maybe even jump on the TeamSpeak, if that makes things more interesting, as long as it doesn't get too overcrowded, which is certainly not the case these days. I'm figuring that I'm probably going to be talking about some of the stuff that I do, as I've always done with the Trixieverse book writing. And if I'm streaming as more of a matter of course, then that will sort of go right along. For instance, I've come up with some new ideas about my introductory characters in Tales of Versus. They're still pretty much the same ones that I intended, but I have a introductory character dynamic going on. In that I'm going to be setting up Mags with more of a psychological conflict. Part of her backstory is that she had this sort of bunny boy boyfriend, and since they were sort of bandits and such, he got killed, and she found that traumatic, but she's never really dealt with it. And she's now off with Elenifi the bunny and Britteri. And Britteri is setting up to be basically your black wizard cat. And she's very capable and powerful. She's protective of both of the two younger ones. And I'm thinking I'm going to have Mags be much more, oppositional and rebellious and even hostile, which is why it'll become shocking when things take a wrong turn, I'll be able to get a reaction from Mags. But more about that when I've got it more sorted out. So what have you been up to, Turner? Anything much? Ah, indeed. Perhaps I will come and visit you. I have come and visit you. Hello. Yeah, the other day we had a bunch of people on, and many of them were talking in the TeamSpeak, and ideally I can set things up so that I can fairly easily just stream stuff, and pretty much the whole purpose of that is to make it much less of a pain in the butt. I shouldn't have to record for, hours and hours and risk the software derping on me, and then end up having to edit it all together and make a whole thing, and then spend hours uploading it and who knows what. Especially if it's an extremely long stream. People, when they do streams, they seem to do these extremely long streams. They'll be going for 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, and it seems to be, just what's considered normal, I suppose. I should be careful where I go around here. Who knows what might happen to me. Yes, yes. The Shattered Song plants bombs. Are these naturally growing trees? Why are they 4 thick? I'm not sure I've ever seen birches 4 thick. Or 2 thick, rather. Yeah. So those, you can make those big birches by planting 4 in a square? And these are some mighty tall trees also. Ah. Fair enough then, that will come in useful. I'm definitely going to need to make new music. You'll see why when you listen to the resulting... This is the only music that I had other than, like, albums of mine or something. I can load up CDs and things that I've done. Although one of them, Dragons, is on the internet, and at one point I was using CD Baby, and CD Baby did a copyright claim on me for my own music. And so I was like, please don't. and I fired them and got rid of their system. Well, I had told them to do the digital rights thing. I just didn't realize it was going to mean that. I didn't realize it was going to be like, you may not use your own music here. I've gone and checked with them, and they will only do copyright claiming and attempting to get money. Because if there was a little bit more flexibility in what they did, I could use them as the tool for that copyright logjam thing German Sterling is doing. I'd like that. I might still find a way to do that, but it's not going to be that one. I should also be able to do all manner of other things. Yep, that's exactly it. I mean, it doesn't have to be only Minecraft. I just need to be sure to update the YouTube thing that I'm putting on. And tell people, like, okay, this is what this particular one is. I've got it so that it's tweeting out announcements. So I've had to go and delete a bunch of tweets because it was just like repeatedly tweeting like, oh, well, here's a derpy stream. And then it would fire up the derpy stream and then nothing would happen. Not that I suppose anybody minds all that terribly much, but... I am just trying to be a good net citizen, or something of the sort. Oh my. Some type of machine there. They all want food at once. This is the fellow with all of the funky machines. Honestly, I have no idea what made them do that. I just know that they did. Mm-hmm. You got this one dog blinking in and out of existence. Ooh. Hello, blinking puppy. I suppose I'll head on back to spawn. It's a teeny bit late, although not terribly late. Oh! Sudden appearance of countless dogs. Hello, dogs. And goodbye, dogs. Creepy music and vanishing dogs. Oh. I'm not sure if I did. What is this about 194? Is it not to upgrade to that? Oh, it is good to upgrade to that. You know, I'm thinking about going to, or at least on the Versus server, going to Spigot or something like that. Apparently they're keeping pace fairly well, although they're having some problems. But I'm given to understand that if I did go to something like Spigot or whatever, I would be able to have plugins. Meaning I could throw in... On the one hand, I could try to do a thing like... Oh, very good. Like, I think it was Shauna who was talking about having the Versus server teleport you from one side to the other so that you could treat it as a entire infinite world. I think that was the idea. Yeah, basically. That's pretty much what it would be like. And although the top... yeah, but I could do it with the plugin probably too. I will bear that in mind. That could very well be a thing. It wouldn't look like one, sadly. Not unless I got busy with MC Edit. Derped around with it a little bit. I could probably cheat it to make it look as if it was really being a torus. Just copy some of the chunks in relevant places from one side to the other. But yeah, given that Versus is a sword and sorcery magic user place, it seemed to me that it might be enjoyable to have a version of Snowball Madness on there that was perhaps less completely batshit insane, but still had like little features and things. For instance, just being able to fire off copies of blocks to place would be nice. And of course, you got to enjoy the fancy arrows, the TNT bombs. Yeah, I know. You see, that is the concern. This is our concern, dude. But it is fun. Things like the minions. The minions are rather fun. And you needn't tell anybody about it. And I could leave out some of the potion things. Some of the really messed up things. I don't know, it's a stray thought. There's obviously no hurry in going for it, yes? Well, and this particular one could use that help because there are no caves on the Versus server. It is just plain, straight up solid rock. Well, there's that too. Thing is, I don't know World Edit. I'm not familiar with World Edit. I mean, granted, it's a thing, but since I have no idea what it is, I'm a little bit, I'm hesitant about enabling anything that I don't know anything about, but then you could run into people who were invited onto the server who would know everything about it. And then all of a sudden, the entire world is unrecognizably different, and you're like, what? Because part of the idea is to give people license to do things. It's just, how insane is everything meant to become? At any rate, I am back in the, I think I might hear my cat trying to come inside too. I am back at my little spawn, house of sorts. It's not really much of a house because it's not very enclosed, is it? But such as it is. So I think I will bid you adieu. And maybe I'll catch up tomorrow or something. If we can get anybody together to Minecraft together tomorrow, we could do a big old stream of it, seeing as I am doing the proof of concept to establish that it does in fact work. And that is a big labor saver for me. I just sort of, all I got to do is sort of play and then stop. Yep, it's all good. It's all good. I am not going to be available around 11:30. There are still ponies to watch. So, talk to you later.